Welcome to the NBA Coast to Coast podcast, brought to you by thelines.com. Coming to you from the West Coast, Josh Lander, joined by Nate Weitzer. He's on the East Coast. And we've got another 3 NBA games here on Wednesday in the NBA playoffs as we roll along. We are going to be looking at the third game of the night in the Western Conference. Got the Rockets and the Dubs. Obviously, Dubs up 1-0 in that one. We've also got episodes up for the 2 other games. So make sure you are subscribed to that channel. Don't miss any of the action. We're bringing you all postseason long. Nate, let's just get right into it, my man. Let's go ahead and look right at the Rockets and Dubs here. Let me just start off. Do you think the Rockets got a chance to, this is going to be a close series, right?
I would think so. I know I like the Rockets in the first half of this game. There's a high hit rate of the home team down 1-0 coming out strong.
True.
So first quarter, first half. And I do think they win this game. As the market is showing, as they've crept up from like -1 to 3.5 at this point. So you're losing value, but I think the halftime, full time might be a good way to play it to say they actually can hold on this time. But look, they came out strong game one, and then it was just like a house of bricks in the second quarter, despite the fact that they were just like towering over the Warriors with all this physical advantages. Like I think what Ime threw out a lineup that had Tari Eason at the 2 and Jabari at the 3, and they were just like grabbing 6 offensive rebounds per possession and just somehow could not put the ball in the basket. Like that should regress, right? I mean, Fred VanVleet should not shoot 4 for 17 or whatever the hell he did in that game. He should keep this offense together, and they should be the team that we saw in the regular season when they were whole, like just be very tough to lose 2 in a row, to bail on, to fail anywhere consistently when they have their guys, and they have just such depth and athleticism now to throw at the Warriors. The Dubs, I'm not saying like they're intentionally going to come out slow as a veteran team or be complacent like your Minnesota Timberwolves were in game 2 and be like, hey, we got the split, whatever. But they do have a history of kind of feeling out the game as a veteran team. The last 4 road games in the playoffs, we're only talking 48 a game, only talking 29% from 3 from the Dubs. In the regular season, they were 23rd in offensive rating in the first half. Before turning it up, and you say, oh, well, that was before Jimmy came to town. Well, they were 15th after that in the first half. They were 3rd in the second half. So they are once again, kind of like all right, let's see where our advantages are. Then we'll press them. Houston, since the All-Star break, 6th in offensive rating in the first half and 3rd at home. And that's, when they have their guys. They also have Şengün, who I don't mention. Like the Warriors have nobody for him. Like Draymond does not guard him. So I think they should be able to play inside out from him, and guys actually knock down some shots. Maybe they hold on to this one. We certainly think so, right? You posed like, will this be a long series? Then they got to get this one.
Yeah, for sure. They definitely need this one. You definitely can't be going back to Golden State. That defense at home has been incredible, especially when Gary P has been available. There's a really wild correlation between their awesome home defense and GP2 being available, which he is very much so, and should continue to see about 15, 20 minutes. But regardless, I think you can't possibly be that bad again on offense. The Dubs, great half-court defense, rather. Like, you definitely don't want to like poo-poo that at all. But at the end of the day, especially with those double big lineups, or Amin playing at like a 3, like you were saying, or Jabari at the 3, like they should be able to take advantage of a lot of that stuff. And they just need to hit some shots, man. It's really just simple. The half-court offense was atrocious, and I think they're going to try to start doing a few different things than just 3 or 4 different guys who are athletic as hell running at the rim and throwing the ball against the backboard, hoping that it goes in. There's got to be some better offense coming for them. And I think we'll see that a la a guy like Fred VanVleet, who I'll talk about in a minute. But let me just get into playoff Jimmy. Like, I'll cap this for you guys, but like, let me just say it's playoff Jimmy. 34.5 PRA for Himmy Butler, the 3rd, I guess. Never knew he was a 3rd. He is very good, and he's going to continue having a very good matchup because we're going to see Amin just draped all over Steph, and Steph's going to have to keep doing things that only Steph Curry can do, which is why he's Steph Curry, and even Amin Thompson can't just completely lock him up, but he's going to be the best at it. That's a big part of this. But then you look at the quotes from Kerr after last game. He literally came out and said, "We are okay." This is the quote: playing Butler 41 to 42 minutes per night. He is rock solid and doesn't commit turnovers. So I just don't know why I would take him off the floor. So I think we're going to probably have another meme from Jimmy at some point where he's just doubled over and can't breathe because he's so tired. But regardless, we're not there yet. We're still in the first round, and he keeps doing crazy stuff. Here's his last 20 playoff games, Nate. 26.4 points, 6.8 boards, 5.9 assists, 1.9 steals, and just 2.1 turnovers with the ball in his hands like the whole game. So he's unbelievably efficient. His field goal percentage in these games is at 48%. His 3-point percentage, not great. It's at 34, but he's taking like 4 of them. So he's at least getting like 1.23 threes. The points, it's interesting because he's got Dylan Brooks on him. That is so great. Can you think of a better guy to put Jimmy Butler at the line? Like Dylan Brooks will foul you if you don't head fake. And yet, you've got the best sort of like get me to the line free throw guy. And we never complain about Jimmy, by the way we talk about Jalen Brunson, foul baiting. Like Jimmy's so good at it that it's still within the play of the basketball, a basketball play. Right. So keep giving him those kudos. But yeah, the history is there for him versus this team as well. He's going to have to continue to have that facilitator role. There's nothing I don't like about points, assists, or rebounds. So I'm just going to keep going back to him on the PRA as long as they keep this under 35.
Yeah, he was really efficient as a pull-up shooter, and that's what the Warriors got in game one, right? I mean, they were just they're not going to have much success going all the way to the basket. They're going to have to operate in those mid-range spots, and this Rockets defense should be even more terrified of Steph, of just like, don't even let him catch it after he hit a few of these shots that made the Olympic gold medal shot where the French announcers were like, impossible. They made those look like light work in game one. Those 2 of those shots were just absolutely absurd.
Yeah.
But I think Ime will press his advantage here and play Jabari Smith heavy minutes again. So I like 15.5 points and rebounds for Jabari. I mean, he was 3 for 3 from the floor, 4 for 4 at the line, just attacking those mismatches. Easy for me to say. I mean, he got Steph in the basket on a couple of those, right? They were just able to rotate because, like I said, they had that lineup where Tari was the 2, Jabari the 3, Amen was the 1. And so it's just like, what do you do if you're a Warriors guard out there and like all of a sudden they catch it down low? Like they should be finishing on those. I don't know if Jalen Green is that long for the series. He's just terrible against the Warriors, and another terrible debut there. So that certainly locks Jabari into more of an opportunity. He probably makes more sense long term than Steven Adams, who I just can't really get up and down the floor in this type of series and defend as much. And I think Jabari can defend these guys, these Buddy Hield, Moses Moody's, Pajemski even. But they can't guard him in terms of just matching the athleticism. So it's a clear advantage to press. In 11 career against the Dubs, he's averaging 15 and a half a game. He's stayed on the floor 33 a game minutes, that is, and 7 boards. And then under Ime, the last 2 seasons, it's still been about the same. It's been 34 minutes a game. It's harder to count on minutes with Ime because he will yank you if you're not doing well defensively, but still 16 and 6. And he's getting up a lot of threes that probably open for a reason type thing that Steve Kerr's like, all right, let's see if he can hit some threes. But 35% on 7 attempts, that'll help you get to the points. And in the game with stakes against the Dubs on April 6th, he goes for 16 and 9 with 3 offensive rebounds. So I think those will help you get over the hump too. As one of the guys, we talk about just volleyballing off the backboard because the Dubs are outsized and the Rockets are just absurd with their offensive rebounding rate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. This was a really interesting game for a lot of reasons in game one. I jokingly, and not jokingly, I do want the Cavs and Heat series to go 7 games, but this one has a realistic chance and likelihood of going 7 games, and is probably the best first round series. I don't know how you would argue otherwise. This has got to be one of the best 7 seeds right in the history of the game at this point because of Jimmy coming to the team late and really dragging them into the playoffs. But I think the guy who is going to get the odd man out is going to be Jalen Green, because if he's not bringing his 23 a night with drives to the rim, feeling really confident that he can get around the guy that's guarding him, then what would you say you do here, Jalen? Because the defense from Fred, from Tari, from both the Aries essentially, and Fred, that trumps anything from Jalen. You could even throw Steven Adams in there as a guy who maybe he's not going to play 20 again, but I think he still gets 14 to 15 minutes because he's really, the double big lineup is pretty Bash Brother-y, if you will, in this last one with he and Şengün or Jabari at the 4, Tari, whatever. There's so many options for Ime, but I think Jabari is the one that is going to have a little bit better of a time than like Tari and Jalen Green. So I think that's where he's going to come in and take some minutes from guys. The guy I don't think he's going to take minutes from is Fred, who, Fred VanVleet, you talked about the the awful shooting that he had. And Fred, how many times, how often do we see Fred have the like 3 for 12, right? Like 4 for 15 kind of nights. Like he's liable for those because he's chucking a lot of threes, but he's so crucial for this team. I don't even think poor shooting is going to drag him off the floor the way it does Jalen Green. So 13.5 points. Don't look at the head-to-head history between these two teams from this season because you ain't going to find much green there for Fred. He's not gone off against this team this season. He has plenty of good games, but I mean, he's almost as good of a Steph stopper as anybody else. If you recall the Raptors series in the finals where he was just unbelievable on defense. And yeah, he's very underrated in that sense, but that just keeps his minutes high. That's my main point talking about Fred's defense. The 13.5 is just going to be like, it's too low for him. I mean, he is a 14, 15 a night guy. It's not too low. It's a little bit fair, but it's also with the odds and the situation of us expecting him to get another high 30s look at minutes in this game. Like he's got to come back to reality and be the sort of like 45, 46 field goal percent shooter that he's capable of, not the like 30% guy. So that's really what it comes down to, is the matchup as well for him. He continues to kind of get, not necessarily forgotten, but he's certainly not getting the bulk of the best defenders from the Dubs. He's not seeing Gary Payton Jr., who was out there a lot for like Jalen Green, to be honest, and that was kind of sort of the guy that he was mirroring, but he's still seeing, a lot more pods, let's put it that way. And if Pods is your primary defender, he's going to get some more shots off. Like, don't really want to throw shade at Pods. He's not terrible on defense, but he's certainly not a plus, and certainly not someone that you think can stop Fred straight up. So in the playoffs, this dude should be at about 15.5 points. That's where he's been for this team. He is down a little bit on the points this year, but the shooting has also been down. So as long as he kind of comes back to his averages over the course of this game or the next one, I think that's a guy that we can continue to exploit in the series because of the matchup.
Yeah, and he does have a versatile enough game to say, like, let's not just take the threes like that. I mean, they will chase him off the line. He can hit these weird tweeners and get it going. We've seen it before in the playoffs. So, I mean, I trust the minutes because he is somebody who nags Steph. And if you're talking about ball denial and just getting Steph off the 3-point line by any means necessary, that he should be out there. Plus, he's the elder statement, the adult in the room, and the guy who organizes this Houston offense, which is, as we've noted, can really struggle in the half court if they don't have Fred playing well.
Yeah, that's the other thing, is like he's just too good of a 3-point shooter for you to not keep him out there with the stagnance that your offense sees. But that is all the time we have for you in this one. Definitely make sure to subscribe to that channel so you don't miss out on the other episodes we have for the other 2 games here on Wednesday night. And last final reminder to make sure you check the link in the description of the video. That is to the email newsletter coming out Thursday this week, so you can get all the NFL draft news that you need from the guys at the lines. And so we see you next. Happy betting.